Hey all, it's Dinosa, and I was doing a quick review. I was asked to do real quick um, for this movie, this crazy movie called SrkNao. It's all over the internet is considered like the worst movie ever made. And I sat through this thing, and yeah, it probably is the worst movie ever made. I have to admit, but it's also the funniest and just more the most stupidest movie, but it was entertaining nonetheless. In some ways, it reminds me of cheesy horror flicks of the '80s, where just blood squirts everywhere and everything. It was just great, though. Um, Basically, the whole movie surrounds with a bunch of '90s slash 2000 stars, including one of the guys, I believe Corey, which was part of, I believe, Glee, and he was found dead in Canada for a heroin overdose. Unfortunately, it happens. Hollywood, not surprised. It happens. So the best goes out to his family for their loss, but it also brings back some people, such as Ian Ziering, which in my youth was Beverly Hills 90210, with this spelling, and he did a few other movies, but he actually, it was like he didn't have the same blonde hair or everything. He was just different. It was just more of a surfer dude. For some reason, he always plays surfer dudes. I have no idea why. And it also stars, I know, Tara Reid, which she was really cute. But the whole movie consists of this. A storm is coming out of the Pacific due to global warming, and it's creating for the first time in California's history a hurricane slash tornado landing on California. Which California, if that ever happened, would never be prepared for it. We're prepared for earthquakes. We're not prepared for tornadoes. That's just a whole nother beast. We've had heavy rain, and I've had wind out where I live. We've had winds up to 80 miles an hour, and we've had electrical thunderstorms, but not like this. This is just madness, crazy Los Angeles basin. Rain is constantly coming down. The sewer system is getting flooded. And as the seawater level is rising in the LA basin, the sharks start swimming upstream into the city streets. Now, this is kind of a cool concept. I mean, I give props. Whoever came up with this concept, you must have been either really smart or really smashed. One of the two. The sharks come up the continent, and that's just the half of it. So in the beginning of the film, everything's getting flooded, everything's going south. Ian Ziering, he's out surfing with his friends. One of their friends gets attacked by a shark. Then other people on the beach start getting attacked. So they eventually all get away. Then they go to a bar, Ian's bar, and then he closes down the bar. Then a shark comes through the window because of the flood on a wave and started biting people in there. It's like, what the heck? And out of nowhere, like the Tara Reid's character, I believe, like pulls up a pool cue and stabs the shark, which was like, what? But it makes sense, and she has a whole background how she doesn't like sharks. So they get in the SUV, and the plan is they're going to get Ian's daughter and ex-wife in Beverly or up in the hills or somewhere, and they're only 6 miles from the ocean, and they got to get further inland because the seawater's rising. Well, as the seawater's rising, what they don't realize is water spouts are starting to appear in the LA basin because of the seawater. So with the sharks coming in, the water spouts occurring, the sharks are getting pulled up and thrown all over LA. So they're on a hill, and sharks are actually getting into like the drainage systems and start ending up in people's pools. It was like so stupid. I was just laughing just so hard at just how stupid it was, but it was funny. So they get to his ex-wife's house to get the daughter, and then daughter safely away. And then they find out later there's a son too. So they get there, and they're having divorce problems. I'm sorry, it's kind of late. They're having Ian and his ex-wife's, of course, having some problems. But now she has a new boyfriend. The new boyfriend's like, "Hey, well, I'm Beverly Hills. I'm this. I'm that. And watch this." And then Tara Reid looks up and is like, "Yeah, and you got a shark in your pool." And he's like, "What? Let me go see." So he goes out to the window, smash! Here comes another shark. It was out. And he's like, it's getting me. And then there's just one scene where the guy's like trying to run up the stairs and this big shark just takes him. I know, it's really hard not to laugh at a gruesome, bloody movie. But there was no instance where you felt like bad. It was like Starship Troopers. It was just, lock and load. Let's go, man. It was the same thing. It was just fun. It was kind of fun. And then there was one scene, so they're getting away. So anyway, the ex-boyfriend, or the new boyfriend of his ex-wife, gets eaten by the shark. And they eventually get out of the house, so they drive down, and they come across a school bus for kids. So storms are coming down, and in the meantime, they're going to try to rescue these kids. So Ian Zieri, from one of the top of the LA bridges, one of the concrete ones in the city, rappels down to the bus and starts pulling the kids up. So he pulls all the kids up in the thing, and Ian finally gets pulled up, and a shark jumps up and starts grabbing the rope and starts shaking the rope. And the rope's about to break, so he cuts the rope, and the shark falls back into the water. This is the most aggressive sharks you've ever seen. It was just like crazy. So they get in the car, but the car has a problem where it's flooding the engine and it's not working right. But finally they get it working. They start driving down the road, and then they're heading towards where Ian's son is. But then in this chaos, they run into a shark. There's this big thump in the car, and then the shark starts eating through the roof of the car. And it's just like, what? And then they're like, just stab with the bat, and then they finally shoot it off. And then when they shoot it off, the thing's half its head gets blown off and flops off. It was hilarious. It was all poorly CG'd, but it was just so stupid. It was funny. And so they finally get up, but then they have to ditch the car because the shark attack. The car started leaking gasoline, and the car blew up. Wow, this is an adventure. So they get to a liquor store. The liquor store has pretty much been taken for everything. And I mean, of course, this is a barred liquor store, like just out in the middle of Los Angeles, and some conspiracy theorist guy is running it, and he says like the government's causing all these sharks, and he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then what happens is find out where it is. So, but they need a new car. So they look across the street. Then it says movie car rentals. And then what they do is they steal the Transformers prop Ironhide. The big Hummer. I think it's the big ass Hummer. I think it's Ironhide, or something along those lines. They steal the big Hummer, and they got this big Hummer. So they're trying to get to the sun, and then the cops have blocked all the streets, and they race through the cops, and the cops start chasing them, and they hit nitrous and get away in a Hummer. This is so stupid. So finally they meet up with the sun, and they come off, instead of a lot of these sharks to keep winning like this, they're going to have a plan of attack. So what they do is they make a bunch of bombs out of propane tanks, which is true, you can do that. And the theory is they're going to set the bombs down inside the tornadoes, so the heat explosion would be great to disperse the tornado or the water spout. Well, here's the thing. Here's the whole problem with that theory. For that to work, you would need a low-yield nuclear weapon to do it. especially if you have a water spout going up the size of the Los Angeles skyscrapers. You've got so much power going there. The little handheld thing, that won't do it. You need some serious juice to do it. But anyway, but it's a movie. So while they're building these bombs, they find other supplies like chainsaws and more guns and stuff. And then they start racing after. Oh no, they get their supplies. But there's a helicopter there. So Ian's son says, "I'm going to fly the helicopter to the 3 water spouts that are all over Los Angeles and drop these bombs in." And he's going to take Tara Reid's character. Her name is Nova, with him. Okay. So he goes off, flies off, and they're like dropping bombs. While this is going on, sharks are getting thrown all over LA. People are getting eaten left and right. And then they disperse the one water spout. Then they get to the second one. The second one, they throw a bomb in, and it doesn't quite work. Then they throw another one in, but then a shark out of nowhere, while it's spinning in the water spout, grabs the helicopter and starts holding on to the thing. Well, Tara Reid's like starts stabbing the shark, and then she falls out of the helicopter. And as she falls out of the helicopter, another shark comes by and eats her in the hole. Just it was like, what? What? And then so then the kid manages to get the bomb off, and the other one breaks up, but there's one more spot to go. And the helicopter's really messed up, so they land the helicopter. So then Ian's character gets in the Transformers Hummer, and then which is loaded with bombs, and drives it towards the 3rd spout. Well, he drives it in, and as he's driving, he arms all the bombs and everything. Right before he gets there, he hits the nitrous button again, and jumps out of the car, and the car speeds off. People, you need to have something holding the gas pedal down unless you put it in cruise control. But if you did that, you'd be going like 60 miles an hour, jump out of the car. Of course, he was fine. Little continuity flaw there, but okay. So they hit the nitrous. The car wraps up into the water spout, then explodes, and then it disperses the water spout. But what they didn't realize is when they did that, all the hundreds of sharks start coming down, like raining sharks. And some people got flattened, but this is the ultimate part. So then one shark falls down. Ian has a chainsaw and it's coming for his daughter. He jumps up in the air, saws his way into the shark, and then the shark flops. Everyone thinks the shark ate him. So then all of a sudden you hear this, and he starts carving his way out of the shark, and you just see him going, I'm okay. And then when he does that, he pulls out Noah, the girl, Tara Reid's character, and she's like, I really hate sharks. It was so stupid, but it was actually really fun. If you go in there with no logic to it, it's really a fun movie. Definitely worth a watch. I don't know if it's worth a buy, but it's definitely worth a watch. It was so stupid, but and I've heard they've already making the sequel because this is so crazy. Or they're already talking sequel. I mean, I want in if they're doing it because I know it's so dumb. I want to die in the sharks. But it was just crazy. It was crazy. It's definitely worth a watch. Definitely, just don't go in there with any intelligence because you're not gonna find it. This movie. Not to mention the old men hitting on Tara Reid all the time. Anyway, this is Dinosa. Check out the movie. And I actually have to go to bed. Talk to you later.